All right, so Jimmy, my good old
Bro,
Jimmy
I love
boy,
Jimmy Butler, man.
good old Jimmy boy, man, never fails, never fails. I knew this was coming during the summer. Once I seen Pat Riley said, "Hey," a media member asked him, "Oh, Pat, there's a little bit of pressure for you to re-sign Jimmy Butler," and then Pat instantly corrected him and said, "There's no pressure." Once he said that, I was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be a battle." But now, with the way the league is, we're gonna see more players butt heads with ownership to get their contracts with this new CBA.
Yeah,
And yeah, man, Jimmy's in a conundrum. But what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's I'm gonna be honest. I think everyone's at fault.
Really, I don't think the
Yeah,
Heat are at fault. I think the Heat are just being the character they always been.
but I think
They
heat
don't pay
culture has
people.
been. No, I think heat culture is bullshit, man. I always thought it was.
I mean, Heat culture is
But
not
forget,
bullshit. It's not bullshit because they produce some good talent. But one thing about it that
man.
is kind of
Let me ask.
suspect.
Let me push
Well,
back on that.
wait, hold
Yeah.
on, hold on. One thing about it, I just want to say this. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna agree with you. The only bullshit part about Heat culture is that the owner does not want to pay too much money. He doesn't want to pay into the luxury tax. That's the only thing about Heat culture people don't really talk about. It's like that owner, he's not going over the tax. Even when he had LeBron James there, he only went over the tax I think for like a season after
Even
they
Pat.
solidified their bench.
Even Pat does not want to go over that fucking page. The
Nah,
over.
I don't think it's a Pat Riley thing. I think that's what the owner gives Pat Riley to work with, and Pat understands that.
Yeah. I think Pat. I mean, I don't know. Pat played a huge role in lowballing D Wade, man. I think accountability should be there for Pat Riley.
Yeah, but again, think about it. The owner, he's made it clear the owner does not do that. I'm gonna pay over the luxury tax. I'm paying extra for players. They don't do stuff like that. That
No,
organization
they
has
don't.
never been like that.
Yeah, that's why I think he culture is bullshit. I think it's just something to sell to the fans of optimism. Because look at Heat culture, man. Who can you? Okay, after leaving Miami, outside of beside Max Truess, who can you say really thrived?
From the Heat culture, I just think the Heat culture is an internal thing. So I
It's a
mean,
lark.
nah, to me it just means next man up. Next man up. We're always gonna grind. We're gonna put in our best effort. Our fans know when they
Yeah,
come in and watch these games, they're gonna see a real game with our guys
but
caring and
tell me
putting
this,
in
man.
effort.
You look at the Heat. You look at the Heat culture and the key players that are a part of it. None of them add to their current teams.
What do you mean? Bam is like one of the best defenders in the league.
I'm not talking. I'm not. I'm talking about like the guys who left and got bigger paychecks.
Yeah, because those places don't have Heat culture.
But dude, come on. Like you're telling me, for example, Chris Dunn, you're playing with players better than Bam and Jimmy, and you get nothing achieved.
Yeah, but they're playing a freestyle offense.
Yeah, but you're also playing with LeBron. You're playing with Anthony Davis. You're playing with all-time greats.
And wait, hold on. And at the same time, the only time we've seen LeBron James actually have to play within a system was when he was in Miami. Remember when he butt heads with Eric Spoelstra? Because they were butting heads about that system that Pat Riley had him operating in. You see, when you
I'm
play,
gonna be honest.
sometimes
I
wait, hold
think
on. Sometimes when you play with
yeah.
superstars, it's more freestyle ball. Especially with LeBron James. It's more like, okay, LeBron's gonna handle the rock, gonna go through a couple pick and rolls, and then he's gonna kick out. It's more freestyle. You have to wait and guess when he's gonna pass you the ball. Pat Riley has like a real system. You're gonna be defending a certain way. It's gonna be a 2-3 zone. It's gonna switch from the man to man. Like him and Eric Spoelstra, they have a system in place. You can't just like come in there and be Bradley Beal, and just chuck up a bunch of shots. It's not gonna work like that.
I get that. I get that, and I also like on a side comment. I don't think Ty Lue gets his flowers really much for setting the Cleveland culture as much as he did, because he also gave LeBron a lot of shit on the bench too. I gotta give him that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's beside the point. With we're talking about kind of Miami Heat culture. What I mean is, bro, when these guys cannot contribute to other teams, right? You cannot expect your franchise player to really win with these guys. I think Jimmy has made the most with those guys, no matter which way you look at it.
I don't
Like I
I
think he
don't think
made
it's
the
a
most.
Jimmy thing. I don't think it's a Jimmy thing. I think it's
I
a Heat thing.
100% think it's a Jimmy thing. You can't tell me 2020 wasn't a Jimmy thing.
No, Jimmy was balling out, but we also have to look at the way the Heat play. Like the Heat have a lot of championship pedigree. That's undeniable. They have a lot of
Bro,
championship
but those
pedigree.
championship pedigree guys are gone. Shane Battier is gone. Mike Miller is gone.
No, but the pedigree.
Udonis Haslem is off on the bench.
There's only one pedigree in the whole Miami Heat championship shit. It's Pat Riley. And now eventually the more years go by, it's really Eric Spoelstra.
Bro, but I also don't think Pat Riley is like what has Pat Riley done to really like make the Miami Heat into this big deal team? I think Jimmy Butler has made the Miami Heat more successful. I don't think I can. It's hard for me to give 100% credits to like Pat Riley.
No,
I think Pat Riley has really held back the Miami Heat. When you have a chance to get Donovan Mitchell, you have a chance to get Damian Lillard. You strike out. Who are you adding? Kyle Lowry, Terry Rozier. Like these guys aren't
no, but the thing
noteworthy
is,
players
let
of
me
any
put
sort.
some context into that. Dame is not the player you added to the Heat. He don't fit. You're not winning a championship with him as the number one option. Dame now is.
But you can win with Jimmy. You can win as Jimmy with the number one option.
You
He's
can win
shown
with
you
Jimmy
that twice.
But I think Pat was willing to take the risk with Jimmy being there, getting Durant and spending more money. But he was not going to take the risk with no Bradley Beal, no Damian Lillard. Those guys are not changing they're not moving the needle. They're not moving the needle at all. Not in that type of role.
But I'm saying you have to take those kind of risks at one point.
Nah, you don't.
Because you're seeing your players running out of his prime. He's at this point, like Jimmy is one of the greatest Miami Heat players of all time. I have him above Chris Bosh.
The thing
So for me, it's like
I think they struck out with the KD when he moved out of Brooklyn. That's when they really struck out. When he moved away from Brooklyn to Phoenix.
But he wasn't like for me. That's kind of like dumb in the end of the Miami Heat because they weren't going to trade him to Eastern Conference team. They'd be stupid to do that.
It's happened before, but didn't they trade Kyrie to? Didn't Kyrie get traded from the Cavs to the Celtics?
Yeah, I think he had a restricted option if I'm not wrong.
No, he didn't have it. Nah, he didn't have a restricted. LeBron.
No,
it was really just LeBron.
But I think it was in a signing trade or some shit.
Nah, he forced himself out. The Celtics only gave up a second round pick, and Isaiah Thomas, and some other person for Kyrie.
Oh, you're talking about Cleveland's deal?
Yeah, Cleveland's deal. Yeah, Cleveland traded.
That
Kyrie.
deal was just stupid.
Yeah,
that deal was so stupid.
Yeah, they traded Kyrie to a rival.
Yeah, that was just a stupid deal. But I'm saying is like, when we're talking about this certain deal, right? Like Sean Marks is a smart GM. He isn't stupid enough to trade a valuable player to the same conference. Especially Miami. I mean, especially Brooklyn. They thought they could compete with Mikal Bridges or whatever.
It's tough, man. But for the most part, I've agreed with Pat Riley with most of the decisions he made. D Wade overpaying him, it really doesn't make sense to overpay an aging star. It's always been a tough decision, but that's always been the truth. Kobe should have.
I agree.
Yeah, paying Kobe Bryant for the Lakers at the end of that was kind of a.
That was stupid.
Yeah, and overpaying guys at the end, it doesn't really make sense. Jimmy's trying to get the same type of deal right here. Paying. Also with Pat trying to get Damian Lillard, Dame ain't moving the needle. Trying to get Bradley Beal, as we can see now, Bradley Beal ain't moving the needle.
No, they don't move needles. But what I'm saying is like, for me, it's like, bro, I can sympathize with Jimmy because like. You have put teams that any other player you replace him with aren't going as far as with like Jimmy Butler.
That's
true. I
think
I gotta give credit. I think these role players, their roles got elevated because of Jimmy, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, all those role players. It's because of he was able to elevate their kind of their ceiling. Like the only one you could really say like has thrived since moving away from Jimmy is Max Strus.
Yeah, but I don't really look at these guys once they leave that Heat culture. To me, those guys can only, they're really gonna thrive really well being inside that ecosystem. Like I don't think Jaime Jaquez outside of the Heat, let's say if he started his career in, I don't know, Cleveland or somewhere else, I don't think he's gonna be as good of a player unless he started his career on Miami. You know what I'm saying? Versus
I don't
Miami.
know. This feels like a San Antonio Spurs argument, to be honest with you, until that got debunked.
Like, what do you mean? The Spurs are still good at developing talent.
Yeah, I know, but the whole conversation of Kawhi, a product of San Antonio culture, and then he goes to another organization and wins a championship, it defeated that whole narrative of San Antonio makes you like you're not the star. San Antonio's the star. The front office or coach is a
Oh no
star.
no, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying. See, the thing is that he can't develop a player into being like a star. But what they have proven is that they can get role players
Yeah, you can
at
milk
good
out role players.
at good price points and make them serviceable. They've proven that. They've
Yeah,
proven
of
that.
course.
Really,
They deserve their flowers for that. I agree.
but
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 what I'm
but
saying
but
is,
but
bro.
the he
Yeah,
can't develop stars. The he has not developed a guy coming out of the YMCA into a star. Like most NBA teams can't do that.
no. Like, look, the Miami Heat, Pat Riley, whatever limited resources he's had, he's milked the best out of it. But for me, it's like, man, you probably could have done way more with the Jimmy era. Like, I feel like you can't tell me a free agency where you're like, oh shit, like Miami really improved.
They haven't, but the thing is, I'm the only thing I'm shooting them bail because I understand how they operate. Their owner does not want to spend over a certain amount of money, and with that new CBA kicking in, I knew that they was not gonna go after
Yeah,
no
and
Bradley Beal.
that's where I'm saying that's also a part where I agree with that's the part where I agree with you because in my eyes, right? While I get Jimmy's point of view where I've led this team to many success they don't even deserve. Let's keep it real. Miami did not deserve like going from um
Uh,
going from
a
8 seed to the
play-in,
finals,
yeah,
a
play-in.
play-in team to the finals, or even 2020. Like they didn't really deserve it. We didn't have them really in mind, but he was able to get the most of it. But at the same time, I get their point of view when it comes to the Miami Heat. You're nobody's gonna pay for a 35-year-old aging and injury prone star. Like
Wait,
that's
okay,
just what
so
it
hold
is.
on. That exact quote right there, right? I think Paul George kind of fucked that that notion up because he's aging, but the thing is his timing was perfect.
He's injury prone. Yeah.
But his timing was perfect. He left and became an unrestricted free agent when the 76ers needed a bailout after losing what's his name, James Harden. So it
Yeah.
worked out for Paul George. He got a nice little deal. He got a nice little max deal.
Yeah.
Jimmy is kind of looking for the same thing, but unfortunate for him, there's nobody at this moment that's desperate enough, that's contending, that can eat up that type of money long term.
Yeah.
And this is what we were talking about in previous episodes when we were saying that, oh, it's almost like a dance right now of musical chairs of who's gonna take a lesser deal. Jimmy Butler, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, or what's his name out in Golden State, Jonathan Kuminga. Who's gonna take a lesser deal? One of these guys is gonna get a lesser deal. This musical chairs has been playing out long
And
enough.
hey, I gotta give credit. Laurie Markkinen played it all smart.
Yeah, Laurie Marketing was also in that dance, but he lucked out. Like the Utah
He
finally
played it
gave in.
smart. Yeah, he played it smart.
But Utah at the end of the day, they were willing to go the lengths. They were like kind of delaying giving him his extension. It's until nobody was biting their bait of trading him that they said, okay, let's just give him an extension. He's young enough. He's producing.
He's a star.
Yeah, we'll give him the extension. But this is another gray area, right? You see Paul George get the deal. You see Laurie Marketing get a deal. Jimmy Butler knows any team he goes on, he's gonna have more of a responsibility than those guys. So why will he take like a $30 million a year, maybe for like a 3 to 4 year extension? Why would he take lesser money and have bigger expectations? That's where the new CBA kind of creates this gray area.
Yeah. But I also think there's a lot of pressure on him. I got a question. I'm gonna be honest. Like I think the way Jimmy leaves franchises also gives Heat advantage points.
Like, what do you mean?
Jimmy does not have a good history of leaving franchises.
Yeah, but franchises don't have a good history of giving Jimmy his value because he's proven it. He's proven his value.
Yeah, I get that, but I think like if you're an organization, we're talking business sense, not a fan sense.
Mm-hmm.
You see a guy leave disgruntledly everywhere, you're gonna try to lowball him.
Correct, But if you're Jimmy and you proven your value, even though he's aging, he's proven his value. I think he should fight. He should fight to get what he thinks he deserves.
Yeah, but how many more coaches can you piss? Like, you pissed off Hoiberg and you pissed off Garpax in Chicago. You pissed off the Minnesota Timberwolves. You had a falling off with Tibbs, and you basically called Wiggins and Cat bitches, right? And then you go to Philadelphia. You didn't like Brett Brown, and I don't think
And
he didn't like
Ben
Brett Brown,
Simmons. Ben Simmons.
and he didn't like Ben Simmons.
And he
I
was
think
right.
the only person he liked was Embiid.
But how many in those places was Jimmy right? Chicago was.
He was right in all those places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're an organization, you don't want that kind of shit in your law. Like, you don't want to pay for that baggage.
True, but also let me ask you
I'm
this,
talking
right?
business sense.
No,
as a fan, we all agree with as a fan.
No. I'm just thinking if I'm looking at Jimmy Butler and his value, because here's another thing I'm gonna throw at you. Let's say any team that Jimmy goes to, what is the expectation of Jimmy?
Win the championship.
No, not even like win a championship. Is he expected to be like viewed as like a leader?
Of course.
His responsibilities is heavier than other players, no?
Yeah, he's a heavy voice in the locker room, and he presented himself that way.
No, but what I'm saying is that he has a lot to carry. Same thing like LeBron. Any team he goes on, he has to carry the load. His responsibility is different. Same thing for Jimmy.
Yeah, I agree.
But why would Jimmy take on less money to be viewed as a guy that's supposed to be carrying the load? It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no matter where he goes, he's going to be viewed as a guy to be carrying some sort of load, like some sort of major load, like as if he's the guy.
Yeah.
So why is he taking less money? The deal that Pat Riley, I'm assuming, wants to give Jimmy, because Jimmy has a $50 million player option. I'm assuming Pat kind of wants to give him around 30 for like a couple of seasons, maybe for like 2 to 3 years. But if you look at that $30 million range, that's like a deal that Emmanuel Quickly is getting. You know, players that kind of had a breakout year and now they're starting maybe for the first time, they're getting 30 a year. But Jimmy Butler, that's not the expectation of him. Why is he getting that type of salary payment? Like, these are the new conundrums that this new CBA has created. You're going to have guys that has number one, I don't want to say superstar expectations, but they have that workload. But the owners are sort of finessing and saying, oh, but I'm going to give you Emmanuel Quickly money. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I agree.
No, this is brand new. This is a brand new conundrum created by this new CBA. And I'm telling you, we're going to see it play out with Julius Randle. We're going to see it play out with Brandon Ingram and also Jonathan Kuminga. More so with Ingram and Randle, because wherever they go, they're going to have like number 2 option responsibility, but the money that they're going to get offered,
third option money,
it's almost like a third option money, or like a guy who has like a, you know, kind of like not any real responsibilities to win, like on a rebuilding team. Like, oh, I got a nice little $30 million deal on the Hornets. They're getting that type of deal, but the responsibility is almost like Anthony Davis type of responsibility. It doesn't make any sense. Like, these are the new gray areas that the owners have created with this new CBA. And it's crazy because the next level up is guys like Luka, Tatum. They're going to give them all the money they want with no questions asked. But the guys that are like below that, they're going to have to fight for their money while putting up numbers. This is like a brand new thing that NBA fans have never seen before.
Yeah.
It's just like, but you know what? Matter of fact, let's hear from Draymond, because Draymond actually kind of emphasized that he's been hearing about this situation with Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat for years. But let's check it out.
I've actually been hearing for the last couple of years that they were kind of tired of Jimmy. Jimmy was kind of tired of them. I think Jimmy was kind of a little more so enjoying just living in Miami and not. I'm not one of those media people that make up stories. I'm not saying enjoying living in Miami like Jimmy's a partier. Jimmy don't go out. So I'm not saying that. I'm just like, but living in Miami is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And so I think he just enjoyed more so his life and what comes with him being the face of the Miami Heat. Again, Jimmy's a very serious guy, takes his craft very serious, works his ass off. So I don't want this to come off the wrong way. I just think, like, he had a good thing there where he's going to NBA Finals. You know, he's the man in Miami. And I think all of those things made what he was going through bearable. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I think it's just reached a point now where you like, what do I have left? 3 more years, maybe? I'm gonna live in Miami for the rest of my life after 3 years anyway. You know, so I think you start to get to that point where Jimmy, competitive as they come, wants to win a championship.
Very interesting. And also the Heat, they also leverage the no income tax to their advantage. But at the same time, they're still not trying to pay money. Yo, it is what it is, man. They leverage a lot of things. A beautiful Miami life, the no state income tax. But at the same time, they're not willing to spend money, man. They're not willing to spend money. And that's just who they are. And, man, Draymond gave great insight because I guess the locker rooms in the NBA, around the locker rooms, you know, this has been the talk.
Yeah.
This is what's beautiful about the players having their own media outlets. They sort of give great insight to certain dynamics that are at play. Because the media right now, you know, Draymond's kind of backing up Jimmy a little bit. The media right now is trying to make Jimmy seem like a bad guy, and Draymond is shooting him some bail because it's like this has been a situation playing out for a long time, and Jimmy's been quiet about it. That's low key what Draymond's saying right here. Jimmy has been quiet about the issues going on in Miami for years.
Yeah. What do you think about like kind of the manager fiasco that happened?
What do you mean?
You remember it went viral when Shams reported on the trade rumor and the GM, not the GM, my bad, his personal manager, Jimmy's personal agent, went on a whole attack spree on Shams. I think that was very calculated by the manager or by the agent.
That's very calculated by both because Shams in a way, unlike Woj, Shams is more of a player. He's more of a player reporter. His relationships were built through the players. Woj's relationships is built through the front office. This is the first time I've seen Shams really kind of go against a player like this. Because remember, Shams on his come up, he built relationships with G League guys and G League executives because that's what he was covering. But this is the first time I've really seen Shams kind of go against a player. And again, I think this is why Draymond kind of shot Jimmy some bail because they know behind the scenes, you know, there's things going on with the Heat. And the Heat now, they suspended Jimmy for, I believe, 7 games. It's going to cost him about $2 million.
Yeah.
You know, just for what he said. Did you hear what he said, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
About getting his joy back. But yeah, real quick, let's just take a look at what Jimmy Butler actually got suspended for and what he said about playing for the Miami Heat.
Jimmy, when do you feel like your role in the offense changed and what has been the toughest adjustment to that change?
It's not a tough adjustment to me. I'm going out there to compete to win either way. Whether I score 9 points or 29 points, I will compete. That's one thing that I will say. So you won't say that I'm out there not playing hard. It may look like that because my usage is down and I don't shoot the ball a lot, but we won't sit here and say that I don't play hard.
What will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it?
What do I want to see happen? I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to joy back. I'm happy here, you know, off the court. But I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop. And I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Now, Jimmy received, 7-game suspension for...
He was very... Yeah. He went very straight with it.
It wasn't just this. It was like, basically, they said he had conduct throughout the whole season thus far that was detrimental to the team. So, yeah, they took some chunk change out of him, man. $2 million.
Yeah.
I know Jimmy's going to fight that.
And rightfully so.
But once again with Jimmy, I'm gonna shoot him some bail because the Heat understand he's age 36. He's under the CP3 rules, which meaning that this is his last chance to sign for an extension. Pat Riley is really riding this out to the very end. He could risk injury. This is supposed to be your franchise guy. Even if they extend him for less money than the 50, they can give him more years. There's ways that they could finesse and still give him his money. They could give him like an extra 2 years, you know what I mean, guaranteed, or player options. It's just to leave him hanging and just, forcing him to pick up that player option is really risking him getting hurt again. I don't know, it's just a lot. The organization is saying a lot. They're willing to take a whole chance on him getting hurt, thus compromising his money. And I understand why he's not happy. But NBA fans are going to be very similar to NFL fans. They're going to see a lot of these type of holdouts or quote unquote tiffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the NFL, guys get franchise tag and then they hold out from training camp. Now in the NBA, because of these new CBA rules, guys are going to be going back and forth, talking about, I'm not happy here. I lost my motivation.
Full on media drama sooner or later.
Hey, the owners welcomed all this, man, with these new CBA rules.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, the league super crafty, the NBA owners. It's hard to finesse them. They basically gave the players more of a percentage of the revenue while at the same time creating an ecosystem where the players, some of them can't access some of that revenue. They basically put restrictions on the teams to say, hey, if you go over a certain payroll tax, it's going to be crazy penalties. So now you got mid-tier players trying to earn their money and now they got to fight for it. So it's like an illusion that the players actually have a higher percentage of the overall team's revenue versus the owners. It's like an illusion. It's very well finessed, very well crafted.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they've eliminated player movement. Like I'm telling you, these billionaires, man, on that level, bro, these guys, they know how to make things look a certain way with the contracting, with the contract language. Like I don't know how these players quickly sign these deals so fast, man, and didn't go on strike. Like that shouldn't even last long. It was like, oh, they opted out early and agreement made. I was like, somebody got finessed.
Bro, it's just the way contracts and the CBA set up. Guys like Butler are bound to be doomed, and I think playing for a league or playing for a team like the Miami Heat doesn't help either, who are known to be a lot more cap space pinching team,
Mm-hmm.
But we saw dude, I think it has is bad and good. Like right now, we're seeing like kind of Bradley Beal and his contract situation by Phoenix Suns in the ass.
Yeah. Before we jump to that, just real quick, I'm gonna play Pat Riley's soundbite and just look at the way.
Are you talking about the one where it kind of destroyed their relationship?
No, I'm talking about the one where he kind of let it be known to the reporter that he's not in a weak position when dealing with Jimmy Butler in this contract negotiation. The reporter tried to put Pat Riley in a situation of desperation, and Pat Riley interrupted him and quickly corrected him and said there's no pressure. Like, you got a people kind of guy Pat Riley is, man. Like, Pat Riley's really the boss of everything that's going on down there.
Pat, I know you guys have a few months to discuss this and make a final decision, but as of now, do you feel like you guys will offer Jimmy the max extension he's eligible for, and what are the factors that go into that decision?
Well, we don't have to do that for a year, so we have not discussed that internally right now. But we have to look at that, making that kind of commitment, okay? And when do we do it? I mean, we don't have to do it until 25, actually, but.
See right there, he has no pressure. He's letting it be known. We don't have to do it to the very end. And he has more to say. I'm gonna continue playing more, but just right there, that's showing you that they feel no pressure to even work out a deal. But watch when the next reporter asks a question. This guy's gonna let it be known.
But we'll see. We haven't made a decision on it, and we really haven't in earnest discussed it. So we'll just see what happens, Anthony.
With Jimmy's extension window opening July 7th, though, he can request an extension starting on that date. Typically, in his past, he has done that. Typically, there has been, I don't want to say pressure, but there has been discussion.
Pressure. There's no pressure.
Okay.
The last extension was, we gave it to him.
So when Jimmy approaches,
You see how Pat Riley corrected him quickly? He let it be known.
Yeah.
Even the last extension, they just gave it to him. But he instantly stopped the dude. He's like, nope, there was no pressure. Yeah, I'm telling you,
But
man.
have you also seen that their relationship kind of, like after his statements post playoffs, their relationship kind of got ruined?
I would say it got ruined during the summertime. You know what? From what Draymond kind of alluded
Someone
to,
made that statement. Someone made that kind of. There was an article insinuating that kind of stained their relationship, Butler and Pat Riley, especially when he said, "Oh, if you're on the bench, don't instigate or some shit." You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. But remember, Draymond kind of alluded. He said for years, this has been the situation in Miami.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's not shocking. D Wade is, he's one of the best figures to come out of the Heat, and they didn't want to give him, a thank you contract. The type of contract that the Lakers gave Kobe at the end.
Yeah.
Pat doesn't do that, man.
And
He's
he
not
brought
gonna
him back when he could
compromise.
lowball him,
Correct.
Yeah.